And what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show, guys. You're going to have
Hello,
to
everybody.
to pay attention to our stream tonight.
I'm going to pay attention. Look, you see? I'm waiting for us to come live.
But hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Reseller Chat Live, where we just like to have fun, have good communication. Jake, we get great resellers on here, man. I love it. We just get tons of people. We've done great interviews. And I'm kind of calling this like season 2, right? Is that what we're calling it?
Season 2. Why season 2?
Because we took that break so that we could catch up. Last time it was kind of like, Jake, how's your family? How's everything been? How are sales? And we got a good one lined up tonight.
Yes, we do.
We'll also get into your listening challenge that you're doing with Emily Conway. That'll be cool. But guys, we have a legendary person for you tonight. The reason I say legendary is when you go back and you can backlog some of his videos, because I have great questions on some of his videos. And this guy, we're going to talk a lot about overcoming adversity, whether it just be anything in your life that's trying to stop you, finances. You don't have places to source. You don't have enough knowledge. This guy's got good insight on how you can, work hard, put your head down, grind it out, work hard. He's commented on some of my videos and taught me stuff just through comments. That's the kind of stuff I love. You know who it is, Jake?
Of course I know who it is. He was in the, you put him in the icon. How would I not know who he is?
Everybody does know, but I want to give him a big old welcome. Guys, welcome. He goes by Pick and Roll here on YouTube. But y'all give it up for Steve. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. Josh, Yakov.
Welcome, Steve.
Thanks so much, man.
Appreciate it.
Dude, I love the content you put out, dude. And
thank you.
Your knowledge is so great. I don't lie when I do intros. Dude, you really do. You bring such good stuff. You commented on a pair of shoes that one time, and you made me want to run back to the Goodwill because you were like, hey, you put those down. And I was like, man, I didn't know anything about those shoes. I was like, I needed that. So
yeah, those are good.
What's up, Russell? What's up, Tri Flippers down in the Raleigh area, hanging out? And Russell says hi.
What's up, man?
I know there's a lot of live going on. I know Kat's still wrapping up, and we know all the other craziness kind of going on tonight. But we just wanted to bring this to you. This is our Tuesday night show where we get to have people hanging out, chatting. And guys, I want you to learn so much about Steve. If you don't know already, links for Jake and for Steve are down in the description. Please go subscribe to these guys. They're such great people to bring in great content. And really just, I love everybody's kind of niche. But Steve, I'll let you kind of do a rollout. Tell everybody where you're from, how long you've been doing reselling, how long you've been on YouTube, stuff like that.
All right. Well, my name is Steve. I go by Pick and Roll on eBay and YouTube and Instagram. I am originally from New York. I live down in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Yes, sir. I've been down here since 1998. I've been reselling for 8 years, and different ways of sourcing throughout the time, and part-time most of the time. I've only been really doing full-time for about 2.5 years, I would say, 2 years, something like that. And I've been on YouTube. I think December or January is going to be 2 years.
Nice.
So that's a grind, as you guys know.
I know.
As you know.
And we'll talk about that a little bit because you've seen both sides, part-time and full-time,
Right.
Because YouTube has an audience of kind of both. And sometimes people get in that sad comparison mindset of well, why can't I do as much as Steve? And I'm like, because you had to go work 9 to 5 today. And then, his 9 to 5 is his routine and getting out there and shipping. And so I think that's really cool. Hey, what's up, Iris? Thanks for hanging out. I know people will keep jumping in here. Busy night tonight, but yeah, man. So, you can share a little bit of your story as well, dude, because I've learned about, your disability, but dude, you've just grinded through a lot of stuff that's happened in your life. Not just that, even switching from part-time to full-time, man, it's been a grind, but dude, you've overcome some tremendous stuff. And I love that story And that you don't just relish on that. You're still
Mhm.
giving out knowledge. You're still helping people out.
Right.
What's that been like?
Well, it was a big change in life, obviously. You know, a lot of people, you see someone, obviously, for those that don't know, I'm in a wheelchair. You know, people might assume you've always been like that. You know, it's been about 15 years now. I mean, I was always healthy. I played baseball my whole life. I was an athlete working out. And when I got injured, obviously it took years for me to figure out how to, deal with it and live with it and become the new me, basically, you could say. You know, I went through years of therapy and just to get back to life. It's not, people think you get hurt and you spend a week in a hospital and you're in a wheelchair and boom. Nah,
Yeah,
it's not like
hey,
that.
get back to normal. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
No. I mean, it took years. And I mean, like, probably like a good 5-6 years to figure out, to get back to where I'm healthy and, functioning and doing what I want to do. So, I lost my career. I used to work for ADT, the alarm company.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a field supervisor for the service department. So I used to do troubleshooting for alarm systems and banks and all kinds of places. So I lost my career. I was with the company 15 years at that point.
Right.
So you lose your benefits and everything. So besides the getting in a wheelchair and getting hurt, now your whole way of life changes, man.
Everything. Yeah.
It's mentally is, people say, oh, I'm a tough, I can fight, or I'm a tough guy. You don't know tough until you got to go through stuff like that in your life.
That's so good, man.
And that's what makes or breaks somebody, because it's all mental. So
ask what type of accident was it? Was it?
Well, you'll know.
If you don't want to, then you don't have to. Like,
no, hey, you guys me anything, but you'll know since you're a nurse. Hemangioma.
Yeah.
I had one in my spinal column.
I remember you sent on another feed, man.
It was
just a random
didn't know I
uterus tumor just in your spinal column. Just one day you just randomly can't move.
Didn't know I had it. I was always, like I said, I was always healthy, and it burst. So it bled into. It was bleeding. Obviously, you'll know the spinal column is filled with fluid around your spinal cord. Well, it was bleeding into the column. So basically, putting more fluid than the column can hold, putting pressure onto my spinal cord. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I basically woke up paralyzed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were able to drain. They weren't able. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting technical here.
No, yeah. They didn't know what it was for like 2 days. Then they finally opened me up and saw that it was there and it had burst, and they relieved the pressure. And at that point, I couldn't even move. All I could do was blink my eyes.
Back. Wow.
Nothing. All I could do is blink my eyes. I lost everything, 100%. I couldn't even make a finger go like that. Zero.
So you're paralyzed from down.
I could move everything.
You couldn't move anything.
But some muscles not good enough where I could walk.
Gotcha.
Like when it happened, my right side of my body was almost like I had a stroke. I was split down the middle.
Right.
My right side paralyzed, and my left side didn't yet when it first happened. And that's how it progressed. It went from my right arm, right leg, then by the next day it progressed to the rest of my body. So when it came back, the things that were paralyzed the shortest amount of time got the least amount of damage. So like my left arm, my left hand, perfectly normal. My right arm, I could use my arm, but I have no hand function.
Gotcha.
So I just keep my hand like in a fist like this.
Right.
I could move. I have a thing over against the wall in the other room. I just pull up my wheelchair to it and I grab the pole and I stand up and I do squats every day. Just so I could stand up like that. I could move. My bodily function, everything works, but not good enough to walk.
Right.
So.
Guys, just to give you an idea over here, I deal with patients who are in similar situations and sometimes in slightly worse situations. They have home attendants, they have family members who are constantly with them, helping them move every step of the way. To see that Steve is actually doing this somewhat by himself is like,
like I said, dude, it took me years to get there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that at the beginning. When I came home, put it this way, in the middle of the night, I woke up, body was all messed up. I went to the hospital and I was gone for 4 months.
Right. It's a process.
So 4 months gone, boom, out of the
Right.
ICU for a month and a half, rehab for 2 months.
People thought quarantine for 2 months was bad.
So, it went, when I came back, my body was weak. I had no trunk control. I had to keep my seatbelt on in my wheelchair. Like,
right.
For instance, how bad I was. When I first came home, I was probably home. It was probably only a few weeks to a month. And I still didn't have much dexterity in my good hand, which is good now.
Yeah.
But my wife had bought these little, like the miniature cupcakes from the supermarket. And I wanted one. So I went into the kitchen in my wheelchair and I struggled to open up the package. And I didn't have any like fine motor skills at that point.
Right.
So I couldn't tell how hard I was squeezing. So I took one and I went to pick it up and I squeezed it too hard and I crushed it and it fell on the floor. So now, me being me, I could have said, screw it, leave it there, go away. Tell my wife, oh, I'm sorry, I dropped it. I said, no, let me bend over and pick it up. Okay. Well, with no trunk control, I bent over in my wheelchair to lean over. And at that point, I had a little bit, but once I went a certain way, my back would almost release and I would just go down. So now I was stuck. My chest was laying against my knees, basically, in the wheelchair. Whoa. Like right now, if you're in a chair, if you leaned over and put your chest against your knees, and I couldn't sit myself back up. And I stayed in that position for like 3 hours till my wife came home from work. Blood rushing to my head. But that's how I was when I came home. So a lot of therapy and so forth. But now, it is what it is. I don't even think about that I'm in a wheelchair. To me, it's
no. And Jake will love, we'll get into a question a little bit in a little while, because I know you've probably developed really good procedures, to say, all right, here's where I am, here's what I can do. And it hasn't slowed you down, man. You're crushing it in your sales. You're crushing it in your sourcing. And I'm going to have a little fun picking on Jake in a little bit. So
Jake always gets picked on. Steve, if I'm not sure.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
We're going to wait till that hour happens if I don't run out of here before to go and watch things that.
No,
but you're a New Yorker, so you got to take it, man.
I love Yakov because he's one of the guys that I try to encourage all the time too. Like, I love him like a brother, man. We had our family. We were sharing cooking advice yesterday. Okay,
so
guys, we need to do a behind the scenes Josh and Jake show.
Behind the scenes,
Yakov, you're a New Yorker, and I'm a New Yorker. That's how you show affection. You bust balls.
Oh yeah.
So if you make fun of someone, that means you like them when you're in New York.
I mean, I'm that way anyway, because I'm like, if I'm just kind of like somewhat cordial with you, I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. But no, I was going back. I backlog when our guests come on. I try to backlog a lot of their stuff. So you've been on YouTube a little over a year now, right?
Almost 2, year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 2.
You did one of the most innovative ideas that, when you look back on your views, and you can even see your growth, like some videos are at 29 views, some at 150, some at 300. Then you started a series on YouTube, and it looks like it just catapulted things, man. You did eBay for beginners. So Jake, if you haven't looked, go back in his backlog. He's doing videos like everybody else. He'd do one and do pretty good, do another one, do okay. He does this first one. It's like eBay for beginners. It was 5.7 thousand views. And then I was like, you did the smartest thing that most people do in content. You did another one. You were like, hey, this is pretty cool. I think one of them has 15,000 views on it to date.
Yeah, right now, I think one of them is up to 30,000 now.
Okay, yeah.
There's a couple. There's about 5 or 6 that are 20 and up, maybe 15 and up or whatever. But yeah, that's the trick, man. Because when you go, we do our what solds. We do you vlog, go to the store and show what you got. A few clips in the store, blah blah blah. And right now for me, I get those come out, and I do one of those a week on Wednesdays, and every weekend I do a what sold, and that's what I do. I've been consistent now on that schedule, and that seems to be better than just sporadically putting them out.
Right.
Find the schedule, and I know when I do Wednesday and Saturday, by like that third day, my initial views start to flatten out.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so I'll get like
eBay 101, how to schedule USPS free pickup. Yep. 6,000 views.
I told you he figured out that market on search engine, the SEO, what people are looking for, and I love that, man. And you did good. You repeated it, but you brought something new to it every time. Right. I think you even started doing eBay 101.
Yeah, eBay 101 is just a bunch of basic, things that I was like, no, everybody's showing like what we get and what we sell and how to do blah blah blah. But like, I was like, what if you're brand new? The brand new resellers, they'll watch these and go,
amen. That's good.
If they try to do what they're seeing, like, going to the store and they walk into a big Goodwill, they're going to be like, whoa, what do I do?
They're overwhelmed.
Once you walk in those doors from watching the video, it's a whole different ballgame. So I was like, well, nobody's doing the basics.
I just decided to do my first ever. It was a what sold, but then I says, and shipping tips. Because I'd realized I'd never covered anything in shipping. And I still didn't cover much. I think I showed like 3 packages or USPS packages you get for free. That video is 2 days old and it's outperforming everything from last week already. And I was just like, man, people are searching this stuff. You got to think, probably just during the pandemic, there's probably been, that I've seen in chats, probably 50 to 60 new resellers that bought stuff and it sold and they don't know what to do.
Right.
They don't know how to do photography. They don't know how to do shipping. And I was like, I was there too. I was one of the guys searching people's channels, trying to learn. And I was like, man, we have to get back to those basics sometimes. And I love that you do that, man. And one of my favorite things that you've helped me with and that I learned from your videos, would you say clothes is probably your number one, like informational? You see it, you go for it?
Yeah, that's the majority of my inventory is clothes.
Yeah.
80%, 70%.
I saw you go into the bins, man, and you're just like t-shirt picking. You were just
right.
I love that, man.
All the time.
What do you think is your favorite thing to source when you go out? So like, yes, clothes, but is it more jeans? Is it more shirts? Is it more shoes?
I mean, it sounds a boring answer, but to me, it's all numbers.
That's good.
I don't get emotional with, I don't go because I'm going to sell it. If you like what you're buying, you're going to end up keeping stuff.
I love it, man. Thank you. Thank you. So for all the haters in the chat, they're going to hate on me real quick, Steve. They hate when I talk about yarn. They hate it. I even got a negative comment because they say that I say my yarn lingo wrong.
Right.
And I tell them all the time, I'm like, I ain't sewing nothing. I'm selling this stuff like hotcakes. Like, I'm not attached to it. So they're like, you're the yarn king. I was like, no, I just got a really good deal on stuff that's making money.
Yeah. I don't, I hit the hard goods. I hit the bags, shoes, clothes, electronics. The only thing I'm not well versed, you can say, is like mostly is women's clothing. Because there's just so many brands out there. But for women's, I know I could do jeans or, and look for Lululemon and certain things. But, women's blouses and stuff. There's just so many brands I want.
Right.
Other than that, I'll look through everything and, I have my brands, I'll pop them in. And just looking at labels, off the top of your head right now, I couldn't even say, oh, look for this brand, this, I could tell you a few.
I'm right there.
But when you're looking at the labels, I have a really good visual memory. And boom, they'll just pop on my, I'm like, oh yeah, that's that. So yeah, it's all numbers.
Sure to shout out Jennifer Hayes in the chat, Russell. I think Jakob will be back in a second. And Dory Berg down in Louisiana. I'm glad you've been safe through all that stuff. You also helped me do another thing, man. My wife and I, we took a trip.
Okay.
We were down in Tampa, down in Florida, and that was my worst sourcing week ever. I didn't know the area very well, but man, I saw the prices and I was like, what in the world? But then I went back and I watched some of your stuff and I was like, well, that's not everywhere. What is sourcing like for you? What do you see that maybe in Florida in your area has better deals on, and then some stuff that's like, don't touch?
For me, it varies store to store.
Okay.
And that's one thing, if for new sellers, once you start getting your experience, you really want to pay attention to the stores because you're going to learn which stores are stronger in what departments and then where to avoid so you don't waste your time. But for me, shoes are tough to come by. You know,
Okay.
I get them, I find them, but if I do find them, it's going to be at Goodwill, and
Yeah.
they're expensive. I mean, I've showed it a few
I
times,
noticed that when I was there.
but yeah, like the cheapest I'll find a pair of sneakers is $8,
Right.
and that's like, you know, they mismarked it and it's good, decent condition. But like if you find like a really good pair at my Goodwill down the street, $15 or
Yeah.
10 or 12, you know, and I don't mind it if it's going to sell for $50.
Right.
But
You're right though. Like a standard
not.
running shoe Nike down there is like $21.
Yeah.
It's not even in great condition, you know.
And you'll maybe get 30 for them online, so you don't
Right.
get a pay.
I did notice
You
that
know?
because, you know, I'm a shoe guy and that's the first place I go. So I was there. I went to the Goodwill. So I was like, man, these look nice. They're nicer
Right.
than mine back home. And then I walked in and I was like, oh no, what is this?
Yeah,
But you're
that's
right.
tough.
I went to Salvation Army. So I went right up, I found one. I walk in there and I pull, I think 5 vintage. They were 50-cent, big, large wrap tee. 5 of them on the rack, and they wanted $2 a piece. You know, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Goodwill let me down, but they didn't price anything high.
Wow. Yeah, my Salvation Army, I don't even go there anymore. That's just a nightmare. So, you know, Goodwill, the only thing I go in, I check the carts that come out. If I do go to Goodwill, I go when they first open and they roll those first carts out and they sit there. I've shown it in my videos, and that's where I'll find my best, you know, shoes or whatever. And then I'll go and I'll look through the rest of the shoes. I'll look through the bag section, and then mine has a very small hard goods section, and I'm out of there. I'll look through the books real quick. I don't even look at the clothes over there. Men's shirts, $7 to $10 for a dress shirt or polo. Jeans are $8 across the board. So to spend $8 on jeans, for me, they got to sell like $35 to $40 to make like $20 profit. So I don't do it because I have another thrift store that's a local one down the road that does dollar clothing all the time. So
yeah, Dory says they closed her local Salvation Army down there. We got Iris. Iris is all the way over on the West Coast. That's a fun thing when we do this later show. We'll start getting folks in Colorado, California. They all start hanging out. I love it, man. Right. But yeah, you've taught me a lot through what you've done and your process and like how you source. I love your routine. Tell everybody that maybe is part-time thinking about full-time, how much you had to increase. Do you have a good daily routine down now? Did you start figuring out grooves that worked when you were like, okay, now I can devote more time to it, but I can't be lazy. I can't do this as a hobby. What was that kind of transition like?
It was, even when I went full-time, I was still kind of like, you know, I wasn't killing myself. But now, I mean, even I always switch up my routines. Even to this day, I like for the past, I'd say 2 months, 3 months, maybe since they opened up quarantine, when it was like in July down here. So what's that, 4 months? I've been doing kind of the same thing. Before that, I was switching it up. Right now, my routine is almost every morning I go to the Goodwill bins. It's only 2 miles from my house. And I go there at 8 o'clock when they open. I'll stay to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It starts getting too crowded. You know, I get a decent, like today I picked up like 10 or 12 things and I'm out of there. And I come home and I come right into here. I photograph everything, document it all. Then I go inside, have lunch, chill out a minute. And then late afternoon, you know, I'll just maybe watch a little YouTube or do whatever. And then I'll list everything that I got that day.
I was going to say, you did a video about 2 videos ago, kind of showing that exact thing. Because they even so they kicked everybody out of the store. You know, they let you stay in, which was fine. But then you were and then they released everybody back in. Was it like it had too many people per square foot or something?
Yeah, that was one of the quarantine, you know, like with the reopening of the whole thing. First, they limited it to like, it was like 18 or 20 people for a while. And then every hour, they weren't doing nothing. It's not like they were cleaning or anything. But every hour, they'd make everybody leave, get in line and come back in. And the reason was because if more people, because with a limit of people, the place does get crowded, you know, before. So if more people were showing up, they were having to wait outside. So it's basically just being fair to let other people be able to come in.
Gotcha. And that makes sense. That does.
Right.
But I was
But if
watching
nobody
that
ever,
video,
yeah.
and it
So if
seems like
nobody showed
Yeah, go
up, they
ahead.
wouldn't. Nobody showed up, they wouldn't throw you out.
Gotcha. But it seemed like you showed your routine a little bit in that. That's all I was asking, because I was like, I do the same thing. I'm just part-time, but I'll even switch up and go, hey, I need to concentrate on listing more, so I'm going to cut my sourcing down to just the weekend. I'm going to go
Mhm.
harder on the weekend, but I won't go like after work and stuff like
Right.
that. But I was watching.
Yes.
You did that. I think you said you went home, you had lunch, but then you got in there and you're like, cool, we're going to package these up. We're going to get them shipped out.
Right.
And you're like, here to go. I like that. I think a lot of people, whatever it works out for you guys in the chat, you don't have to like etch it in stone, but figure out a cool system that works for you. And it might be
Right.
for a season, it might say, all right, it's Q4. I need to list a lot more, or I need to buy smarter. I need to,
Yeah, I don't.
everybody.
List.
I mean, when I come home, like now, like today's what, Tuesday? So yesterday and today, I went to the bins, got a handful of things, came home, photograph list done, and then at night I would come out here, like this time at night, and pack up any orders that came in throughout the day, and I'd schedule my pickup for tomorrow morning, and have them ready. And then
Yeah,
do it again. But certain days, like tomorrow, I might not go to the bins. I think I'm going to go hit the 2 local stores and go there, And it's like usually Thursday and Friday, if I do go to the bins, then I'll go to another store after them as well to load up more, get bigger haul for the weekend.
Nice.
So I don't go source Saturday and Sunday. It's too crowded. So
Right.
then I have more stuff to keep me busy photographing and listening throughout the weekend. But if I could pick up 10 things a day, 12 things a day at the bins, to me, that's fine. That's good.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But like you asked about transitioning from part-time to full-time, one of the biggest things is hardest to do and do it properly is to grow your inventory. So if you have 100 things, 150 things, even 200 items in your store, and you want to, start getting more sales every day, because technically the average sell-through rate is only supposed to be, they state 1 to 2% of what you have.
Yeah.
So if you have 100 listings, by that average, you're really going to sell one thing a day.
Right.
Of course, it varies. You might have a 3, 4, 5 day. You might have a 0 day. So if you have 1,000 items, you should be selling like 10 a day. It's going to vary again, of course. So if you want to become full-time or even ramp it up more to more sales, you got to grow your inventory. Now, if you have 100 or 200 and you want to go up to 400, 500, well, think about how hard it is to find 200, 300 items that are going to sell. Of course, you can find them, just have dead inventory, and that's just a number in your store. That doesn't mean nothing.
Right.
I mean, if I had my way, I would have like 3 or 4 listings of replenishables that I had a guy that I could get them from, and have one listing with a quantity of 50 and just keep renewing that. And you could have 3 listings and become rich and successful.
There's a lot of people that show that. They're like, you could totally be full-time selling 10 items a day at a certain profit margin that are just going to sell consistently.
Yeah, that's it. And you have the source where you could get them, and there's one listing of multi-quantities. And if you have a couple of items like that, that's a reseller's dream right there.
Yeah. We're right in that boat. I know Jake's not going to go full-time reselling until he moves out of New York.
Frozen.
Who's that?
I don't know. You guys.
I'm here.
You guys. All right. We're good.
I'm good. Okay. But my wife and our business has done really well. We started in February, and probably on our 1 year, probably this upcoming February, she'll actually be taking the business side over full time, running pretty much the day in and day out. Pulling orders, getting them shipped, getting them sent off, working on new listings, probably sourcing when she can and stuff. Because I went at it really hard. I was looking at what 2 dudes were saying. Yeah, doing reselling part-time, it's tough because you come home after 8 hours of work. You work more. I have a keyword to add to that. Naps work out so good when you're doing it part-time.
Are you kidding me? If I dare to go to sleep when I come home, besides having kids jump on top of me and the whole works, I'd probably not wake up till probably 9 a.m.
Telling you, You got to schedule it. That's just for me. That's not for everybody. But I work on this at night. Like this is right now. If I'm not doing a live, this is my listing time. This is my after this live's over. I got to pull an order of 8 items. Like I have to build it in. I have to schedule it. You know, I have to really be intentional. Because if I rely on my feelings, there's nights that I don't feel like doing nothing, and nothing produces, nothing sales. It's tough. It's a hard mentality, but we're churning out this hard while we're here now, so that when my wife does this, that's when I can let off the gas pedal a little bit. You know, she gets to put more hours than I can ever put in part time. So it's just and we got good stuff happening. I can't let everything out of the bag, but just let everybody know we got some good videos coming out this week. So
that's good.
Real good stuff.
Do you do Poshmark also, or you only you also do Poshmark? Yeah, because you said most of your inventory is closed. So I basically when I started with Poshmark, and then I transitioned over to eBay a little bit. Well, now maybe on eBay and still have Poshmark, but it's just a hassle. Keep sharing your closet 3 times a day. It's like
I don't do that.
You don't share it?
Never. I don't. I did at the beginning, but now I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I don't. To me, I don't. Poshmark is just a backup. If I get sales, I get sales. If I don't, I don't. I don't really sweat it. You know, and without even sharing, I still get 2-3 sales a week from there.
Oh, nice.
Because to me, I don't. The sharing, I never dived into like the whole, fundamentals of it. But to me, it's like putting things on there. And to me, that's not going to be something. Oh, look, someone just shared this. I'm going to buy it. If they're looking for a certain item, they're going to search it out. They're going to go through the listings, and if you have a good item, they're going to find it anyway.
Yep.
So it's just, to me, it's a whole. I don't know what the point of it all is. I mean, to me, it's just because you pop it into like the party feed or something isn't going to make somebody buy it anymore.
Right.
If they weren't looking for it.
Search results.
So good. Yeah. Think of the mailers that come in the mail about your local little convenience store. They're going to show you the 30 items they put on sale. Right. You might thumb through it because you have extra money.
Right.
But if you're looking for something, you actually go into that store to see if it's on sale. It's that concept.
That's how I look at it.
Like list perfectly, or are you just listing?
I just copy and paste everything over.
To Poshmark, you do Mercari as well, or just Posh?
Just Posh. I do eBay. I list everything eBay first, and then whatever I'm going to put over to Posh, I'll do it when maybe sometimes not even at the same time, maybe the next day or later that day. I'll just copy. I still have the photos in my computer, so I just copy the title, paste it over. I mean, Poshmark, I do a listing like in a minute flat.
Nice.
It's simple. It's a no-brainer. Copy that over, copy the description box over, click off your few boxes. I have the pictures on my computer, so I just dump them all in, list it, and it's done. And then if I have the item listed on both eBay and Poshmark already, then I go into my photo file and I delete the pictures off my computer. So I have different files to list clothing, to list hard goods, so I can look in there and I have all my notes written down.
It's good.
So I can just, so I have no death piles, 0.
That's the way it works.
Never had one. Haven't had one in years.
I can't wait to get rid of mine.
Jakey can't do your challenge. His death pile's on every day.
I saw that. I was like, I ain't doing this. I can't do it. No. Even if I don't list everything, like now my routine is, like I said, bins, come home, photograph, then I list everything. Like today, I listed everything but one thing.
Like you said, you're not picking up extra junk to where you're like, oh, I can't get to it, because typically when you pick up that kind of stuff and you don't feel like listing it, it's probably not a good item.
No.
You just bought it out of guilt or frustration
and I don't pick and choose what I list. Like today I got a pair of jeans, I got 2 vintage shirts, I got a couple of GameCube controllers, 3 Wii remotes. I found 5 brand new with tag, Brooks Brothers silk bow ties. So all that stuff. So now when I come in here, I have my piece of paper and I write down all my details on each thing, measure whatever, photograph them. So now they're all on my piece of paper. When I go to list, I go just write down that list. I don't pick and choose what I'm going to list, because that's going to create, well, this is a $50 item. oh, this is only a $12 item. Let me skip the 12. Just go.
I'm gonna use this as a trophy for Steve. Steve, thank you. Here's your award for telling people like how to use this like a business, not just like lackadaisical. Like, I love this, dude. Keep sharing, man. I had to say something.
Do you test your remote? You got Wii remotes, you got GameCube. Do you test any of this stuff?
Sometimes if I could. A lot of times, well, I don't find them that often. But like Wii remotes, I'll put the battery in. If you get all the lights going, you know, to me, if they get it and it's a problem, I'll just say, all right, throw it out. Here's your money back, and I'll move it on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's not gonna. You know, I have free returns, so they can't leave me negative feedback. So, you know, and it doesn't happen. You know, I don't very rarely have anything come back like the Guitar Hero guitars. This year was November. I probably sold maybe not a lot, but I'd say maybe, you know, 5 or 6 of them. You could say. I don't find them too often, but I don't test them. I just look at
same thing.
I look at them, look around it. If
you write untested, or how do you list it?
I just
don't say it.
I don't say anything because I look at it. If there's no major scuffs, scratches, you look around the perimeter of it, looks like a kid threw it or dropped it. If you don't see any of that, typically they don't just stop working.
Right.
So I take it, you know.
And Jake, you
never had a
mentality. If you didn't want to pick it up, I love what he did. I do this too. I tell them, keep it. Sorry about that. It's a waste for them to ship it back.
Right.
If I'm out $2-3 that I paid for it,
plus the shipping.
No, not if they paid shipping to get it. I tell them to keep it. Don't ship it back. Here's your money. Take it back.
But I don't make
you give them back without the shipping. When you refund.
Yeah, I give them all.
If it's bad, but don't make that like your business model.
Yes.
And make that a habit.
Yes.
Because you're gonna come across people who are trying to rip you off, and you really got to take each situation that happens with and really look at it, what's going on.
Right. Steve, I'm just sharing this with Jake because Jake is a stickler about not wanting to give anybody any money back ever.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, but it doesn't have. I have free returns. That's free. People are scared of free returns. They think, oh, my returns are going to increase. You know, why would that happen? Someone's buying that item because they want it. So unless there's something wrong with it, they're not going to want to return it for no reason, and you end up getting screwed out of money. So that's why if you make your listings, put as much details as you can.
So good. You know? So good.
Tell the story with your pictures. Don't put 3 pictures. I usually put like 10 or 12 pictures.
Try to fill it up. Yeah.
Front, back, every angle, this, that. In your descriptions, no matter what it is. You know, if I was selling, you know, my phone, for instance, I would put in there 4 inches long, 3 inches wide, just for aspect. So someone knows what they're talking about. Because a lot of times you can't really tell, you know, put measurements, put details, clothing, all kinds of measurements, clothing, fabric, what the makeup. I mean, it sounds crazy, but like I'll put like, 50% cotton, 50% polyester, or, 5% spandex, whatever, because there's people out there with allergies to certain things, or they don't like certain materials.
Right.
But don't they see that on the ticket? Why do you have to describe it on the description?
On what ticket?
You said you're putting spandex and polyester 20%, whatever it is, but doesn't say it on the tag?
Yeah.
But he's covering himself, because what if somebody looks at the first 2 pictures, says, I want to get it?
People don't look at pictures, or people won't look at your condition box, or people won't look at the description.
Your specifics, yep.
You got it, and it doesn't take long to do that extra little things, but that's going to really cut down. For clothing, clothing you would think would be the highest return for people, not fitting. And this year I probably had 3 returns for something that didn't fit right.
Right.
And because they didn't read it, obviously, because I put everything in there, So it happens and you can't avoid it. But if you give the most information you can, it's really going to cut down on the happening.
The chat's already starting on Jake here. Great system, Steve, especially for sellers with limited storage space like Jake. Yeah, who put stuff at his father-in-law's house too.
It's just my death piles that sit there.
He's got multiple death pile locations.
Yes, I do. It's not
Yeah.
even a joke.
But it's tough because if you got a job, I understand that,
Yep. And that's what I tell them all
I
the time.
stopped going to Goodwill. I stopped going to Salvation Army. I am done.
Because you have plenty of inventory.
I have plenty of inventory. I can't. I have to get rid of everything I have before I even decide to start going.
Yeah.
And
it's very easy.
It really sucks, but
you can become addicted to the sourcing, but you just don't, there's always going to be something there tomorrow. Just leave when it's time to go. If you have enough, don't go sourcing. You're not, that initial thought is going to be like, oh man, I'm missing out. And 5 minutes later, you're not going to feel that, and you just do what you got to do. But to me, there's no part-time reselling. It's just either whether you have another job or not.
Awesome. Two dudes pick in. They got their podcast Thursday at 8:30. So they got a big guest coming up. Well, Steve, take me back. Getting into reselling, you'd already had your accident. You'd been redeveloping. What were some of the mental things you did? Did you put a good group of people around you to stay focused on, even with your reselling knowledge? Were there people that you were like, all right, I need to learn from them? But what were some of the tricks that you even did mentally to keep yourself pushing, or even physically with tactics and ideas? Like, I'm writing out the description. Why? It's making your listing faster. What were some of those things that kept you on the up and up, really mentally?
Gee, I don't know. I guess, it's just naturally how I am.
That's nice.
Not to sound any kind of like.
No,
that's not the New York way.
No, but you got to have a tough mentality, basically. And when it came to reselling, I started gradually. I wasn't like, I didn't watch some YouTube videos and be like, oh, I want to be a full-time reseller. Like some people are, I hear people saying that, and it's like, man,
right.
I don't know,
You know what it's about.
Don't quit your day job if you have one.
Right.
Because it's not as nice and easy as it looks when you're watching a video.
Oh yeah.
But I started slow. Like I sold things around my house. My kids were little, tons of toys that they never opened or played with after, months after Christmas. And that's the best way anybody start. You learn the process. You don't lose any money. And you clear out. Yeah. And then I was selling, like I went on Craigslist and I put an ad. I do eBay. If anybody has things, I can list for you. And I've had people contact me, and I was selling things for people and getting a cut out of it. You don't get obviously the money you would make if you sold things yourself.
Right.
But if you're just starting out, you're making money. You're learning the process of everything. With no investment.
Super smart.
It's like that's kind of like a job. I would never do that now. But then I did that, and then I went into I had people. I was selling clothes for a woman. Then I hooked up with this guy who he had workout videos. Now, I don't want to get into the details of what it was, but it was something that was really hot at the time. This was 5-6 years ago. And he would come over with basically a pallet of them, put them in my garage. And I would do all the stuff online. He would just bring it. He was getting this stuff. So he was fronting all the money. I would turn on the listing Friday afternoon, like at 4:00. We'd do like a quantity of 50 and it would sell out, and we'd relist another one. And we'd only do from Friday night to like Sunday, like midnight, I would shut it down. And we wouldn't do it during the week because we were selling so much that we couldn't even do it during the week. He would wipe out and he'd have to get more shipment come in. And literally, I would have to go, my whole back of my van was filled. We were talking like, we would sell like at least 100 of them a day. And
that is good, man.
And these were like box sets that would fit, the Tyvek envelopes.
Yeah.
Okay. The boxes of these things would fit right nicely into a Tyvek. There was a thick box, maybe 12 by 7 or whatever. And these were selling for anywhere from like 80 to 120 bucks each.
Oh, that's so good. I'm going to do a quick shout out. Hold on. I'm going to do a quick shout out for Emily. Guys, Emily, thank you for dropping in. Emily, this is her date night with her husband. He's got a crazy schedule. Thank you so much, Emily. But go enjoy that awesome time with your husband. Like, I just wanted to let her know. I appreciate her jumping in, but I love that she schedules those things out. That's so smart. Steve, you mentioned a cool word that I want to get into. Jake, listen up. Jake, how long does it
Wait a second. I want to know how
Pick
much investment. Wait. How
Sounds like it's pick on Jake time. Let's go.
No.
How much did you invest in it? How much did it cost that you sold it for 100? How much did it cost?
He was getting them for like 20 to 30 each.
That's not bad.
So it was like 70 to 80 profit. You know,
That's
as
not bad at all.
What happened?
he got shut down and it was a whole he ran out of source, but he also got shut down by eBay because he was selling so much. It wasn't on my account, it was on his, but I was doing it all. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it lasted for like 2 months. We were doing like at least $5,000 a weekend. It was crazy. But it was good. I made a lot of money doing just listing for him and shipping. But
Nice.
you know, that was part of the process, you know. So
Right.
All right. Enjoy beating me up. Let's go. What?
This isn't beating you up. This is Steve. And how long does it take you to, let's say, ship out, I don't know, 8 items on a typical day?
normal things, nothing that has to be majorly packed and
Yeah.
If I have 5 pieces of clothing, like a pair of shoes, right? A small, like a little radio, 8 items, half hour maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are there some tips you could share with Jake? Jake was doing a listing live the other night. He was challenging us all to list. And I've given him advice. He doesn't like my advice at all, Steve. Jake, it took you 2.5 hours to ship out 8 solds?
Okay. Let me explain before you go crazy on me, people. Let me explain. So, I have spreadsheets. Okay, that since I'm such a small reseller and I have maybe a max, a weekend with 8 was massive for me.
It was a big sales weekend, yeah, for you.
Okay, so just having that, I input everything into the spreadsheet to know exactly what my profit is after each item. That's where I think I go wrong. But with the current inventory and death pile that I have, I feel that I need to actually figure all that out and figure that after, because I don't have an average cost price on each item.
Right.
Eventually, after I finish this death pile, I will probably have just a regular standard cost.
Right.
And then I'll be able to actually go about that. But I have to input right now everything. So that's where I think I go wrong.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you feel the need to itemize every item? What's the reason? I'm not picking on you yet.
No, I hear. Why do I feel the reason that I need to itemize every item? Well, because
is it just a satisfaction of looking at?
Yes, it's a satisfaction knowing that, like, so I don't want to take an item and lose on it. I mean, if I bought it in a lot, like this Wholesale Ninjas lot, I'm planning to lose about $100 on it. Fine, I have no problem losing the $100 that I invested in it. Well, I invested close to 3, but I want to make sure that I'm on track to hit the 2 at least. Or if I bought an item from Goodwill for $10, I want to know that I'm coming out with at least $5 to $10 profit on it. Okay. Otherwise, I won't accept an offer.
Let me give you something to ponder on with that. Okay.
Here
now, honestly, now I'm not telling. One thing I do in my videos, I don't tell people how to do anything.
Amen.
I tell you what I do. You could choose, you pick and choose.
Amen.
But let me tell you something, and maybe it'll, you know. But I understand. I itemized things too when I first started, because you wanted. It was almost like a psychologically gratifying to look and say, I paid $3 for that and it sold for 20. Oh, I paid it. But at the end of the day, like, even if you do your taxes, they tell you don't have to do that. You know, and I don't know nothing about doing taxes. I'm horrible at that. But I use GoDaddy. I use one card for all my sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
I have that card linked to GoDaddy. I have my eBay linked to GoDaddy. I have my bank account linked to GoDaddy. So I buy everything with my one credit card, where what store I go to, it automatically all gets put in the GoDaddy bookkeeping. Every month it shows you You spent $150 at thrift stores. Your profit from eBay, blah blah blah. Here's how much you spent on shipping. It breaks it all down for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You just put, to me, I mean, if you're into all that, if you could do what you want, but GoDaddy is very cheap to get, and does it all for you.
Well, that's why I said I think that I'll wait till after I'm done with my current death piles. Because if I'm done with the current death piles, I'm able to actually say, okay, new set of inventory, new set of way of doing things, get GoDaddy, get started, and go on a good track. Right now, my death pile is literally, it could reach the ceiling if it wanted to. I need to get rid of it.
Right.
Plus what you said, you want to see that you made profit on that item.
Yes.
When you're buying it, you should already know that answer.
Yep. That's so good.
Yeah, but how do you know, so I use best offers. I'm not sure what you do. You don't use best offers. All right. So I use best offers. And the reason I use best offers is because I want to move things. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind getting $5 and sometimes $3 on an item just to get it out of my. So the difference is also you're full-time, I'm part-time. I do this for fun. So
even more so, because then you have limited amount of time. You should try to make the most value out of that time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Trying to make $2-3 on an item.
Yeah.
That's just.
You shouldn't have bought that item.
I want to blow it out. I don't want to sit on it anymore. At this point, I want to move items.
Yeah, but it's like you're spinning the wheels for no reason.
Yeah. Jake, there are items that I take out of my inventory that if they sat too long and I've discounted them so much, I'll take it out of my store and go donate it back to the thrift store.
Rather than getting a $2 or $3 profit on it?
It's not worth my time. Or I'll stick it in a yard sale.
So what do you do with 90% of the items around here, to be honest? Jeans, $8. Sneakers, $10. You
gotta be more picky.
Yep.
You have to really, you're not gonna find, you might find one item a day when you go out, 2 items. Don't come home with 10 items that are gonna make you $2-3 each.
Yeah. Come home with one that's gonna make you 30.
It's all in the comp. You got to comp when you're picking things.
No, I do comp. And
look at the sell-through rates. The sell-through rates, that's very important.
That's so good, man. People don't look over that. They don't check the dates when they just see sold.
Right.
They don't see, there was one that sold 5 months ago and there's 23 listings that haven't moved.
It's just a learning process for you because you're new. So you can't just jump into what other people are doing. Do what you're doing.
Yep.
Don't get stuck in your way. Try to say, all right, let me try to move my minimum sale up, and I want to make nothing less than $10 an item.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with making $10. At one point I was like, no way, I'm not buying hats. I'm not gonna sell something for make $10 on it. But my mentality changed on that. Mm-hmm. My whole store isn't things I'm gonna make $10 on it. But out of 400 items, if 40 of them, 10% or whatever, is going to make me $10, I'm okay with that because I have the same amount of percent that's going to make me $40, $50 an item.
Yep.
So you want a good blend. Don't get, I know you it's hard to say because I don't know. I don't want to tell you how to do it.
No, I think you said.
It's okay. Look, I take it. I'm going to obviously take some and leave some and make my own out of it.
Right. But if you're happy, to me it's like if you're making $2 on an item that takes you, you spend 10 minutes to list it, 5 minutes to photograph it, 5-10 minutes to pack and ship it. You paid 30 cents for a box, whatever be the case. What are you really making?
Right.
But that's where I come in as a fun-time reseller.
Well, then,
look,
Jake,
to have a full-time job, I agree. It's very possible, very to do. Like a lot of people are doing it. Me personally, I really love doing it. I just have fun shipping and getting things out. I get it. Hearing the cha-ching on my phone.
I get it. I understand that. Right. But yeah. I mean, you can't knock that. If you're happy doing what you're doing, then no one can tell you any. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong. That's the whole thing. We all. If you look on YouTube, let's say there's more, but let's say 50 reselling channels.
Right.
We all do the same thing. We buy things and
Yep.
we sell things. And that's where it ends.
Yep.
Right? Some people go just to yard sales and estate sales. Some people just go to the bins. Some people just go to thrift stores.
They do storage
Some
units.
people,
They do.
some people have a guy and they don't go anywhere. Some people list only on eBay, some on Depop, some on Mercari, some on Poshmark. And then the way you list things, some on the phone, some on the laptop. How many pictures you use, how you describe things, how you price things. Some people use best offers, some don't. Some do free shipping, some don't. So buying and selling is the only common denominator. Other than that, it's no holds barred. Everybody does something different. So there's no right or wrong.
Thank you, Steve, and you're being such a kind guest. Now, I'm going to beat up on Yakov because he's my buddy.
There you go.
Jacob, you say the term fun all the time. I think your fun, though, is that missing part, which you're doing. Please hear this. You're doing a really great job with this challenge because I think that was your missing part. You have a ton of fun buying stuff.
True. Agreed.
And you have a ton of fun when you hear the cha-ching.
Yes.
You hate the whole process to get to the cha-ching because that's actually work. It's not fun.
Probably.
And so every time when you're like, I just do this for fun. Jake, no, you don't. I watch you come home with, you're buying pallets of stuff online, okay?
Not happening anymore, by the way.
I know, but you're doing something good to where the discipline has to step in. Even if you never take this anywhere higher than where you are, there has to be discipline that goes along so you can have fun. It's like telling your kids, after we cut the grass, we go get ice cream. It's not always about getting ice cream. It's about getting the grass cut so you can go get ice cream. Right. It's the not fun part to enjoy the fun part. And you're right, Steve. I think there's a lot of resellers that are new that are addicted to the sourcing. I was guilty of that when I first got into it. My wife was like, hey, we're not selling $400 of stuff per week. Why are you spending $400 per week? I had to put myself in time out. I had to learn and go, if I can't list as much, if not more than I'm picking up, that's going to get really lopsided real fast.
Right.
But I think you hit it right on the head with simplify your stuff. I was there as well, Jake. I was writing everything down. Now I look at it for the whole week and I go, sweet, how many items sold? What was my general profit on that many items per week? And then I go divided by, if I sell 30 items, I'm like, I made this much profit on 30 items. I think this last week I was averaging $14.45 per item that sold. I don't care that one was 3 and one was 40. I'm just looking at the average week and going, cool, I'm up or I'm down. What do I need to focus on? I need to source more limited items, not just general stuff,
Yeah, I don't pay attention to I do, but I don't dwell on the numbers. I know I'm making money.
Yeah.
Whether I made 1,000 this week or 500 this week, I don't boast or get down on either or, because I know I have a video coming out tomorrow. Okay. It's 3 days of going to the bins. It was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I went to the bins. I show a few clips. I show what I got. And then the next day I do the same thing, show what I got. And then a couple of items from the day before sold, I show what sold. So between the 3 days, it's like 4 items had sold within those 3 days that I had picked up right away. The next day it sold. And I spent like $15 one day, like $10 one day, and I ended up spending like $35 total for the 3 days. And just a jacket sold for $70. These 5 Bart Simpson t-shirts sold for $86.
Nice.
And then I had a pair of boots sell for like $70. And I know just the one jacket sold for $70 made double what I spent for the whole 3 days.
Exactly.
Everything else is it's free. Now I don't want to track, you start trying to track all that. It's like going crazy because now it's like, oh, I paid, but it's zero. Especially that I go to the bins and it's by weight. So I don't really itemize items. You couldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
I could break it down as $1.75 per pound. I could say, oh, this weighs 4 ounces. That's 40 cents. But it's, but if you're having fun doing what you're doing and you have fun, you can have more fun when you make $20, $30 on an item. And you have it happen. I know you're selling good things.
Yeah.
But just try to cut out those lower, Yakov, the lower, don't, let's get through what you have. And once you have all that listed and you start sourcing again, try to just say, okay, now everything's listed. Now I got to go sourcing again. This month, I'm going to be picky. I don't want to sell anything that I'm going to make a profit below like 10 or 12 bucks an item.
It's good.
And comp those items. And don't be afraid to put them back on the shelf because it's only going to make you $5.
So good.
And do that for 1 month. Just do it for 1 month and see what changes and how it goes.
Your listing will get easier because you're not overburdening yourself with bigger death piles. It's just, as Marquette said, great tip, Steve. Like, you're doing really good. Doing a hit on Shane says you can come list his items for fun. Jake, Emily, Emily, this is good. This is not just for Jake. This is good for everybody. Guys, you're going to learn. There's going to be things that hiccup, especially if you're just doing one platform, eBay. Even eBay, they say most eBay resellers quit in 30 days. You know why? They get that first invoice, and they're like, what? I got to pay for stuff? I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
there's so many little hiccups, guys, but it's either going to push you, you're going to stop, or you're going to work harder. You're just going to.
It's like YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube's even worse because that definitely make people quit. That's a tough one.
I've been on the verge of quitting YouTube for how many times? My next question to you: how the heck do I manage that when managing my?
That's because see, we're doing a job. That's tough. Like I'm no expert. I'm no expert in YouTube. I don't. I make a video. I find my schedule. Almost 2 years I'm doing it. I'm only at like 2,850 subscribers, but we talked about earlier, those how-to videos.
Yep.
Your videos are going to get your short-term boom, whatever you guys get like a video now,
right?
I get 200 to 500 on a video, like within the first few days.
Right.
Then it bottoms out and you get a few here and there as it grows. But the how-to videos are going to go long-term.
Yeah.
So if you can come up with find something that's not overdone out there and make one of those videos, and that's going to give you that long-term growth. One of my videos, it's how to remove Sharpie from an item. And I did a comparison of 5 items. You'll see the screenshot it's like alcohol, magic eraser, lighter fluid, something like that. And that video had a couple hundred views for like 6 months, nothing.
Yeah.
A month and a half ago, something happened to it where it got, I guess, suggested. And it's been getting 10 to 15. In the past month, it's got it's up to like 30,000 views. Just out of the blue. So you got to put out the content and hope for the best. I'm still hoping to wake up that one morning and it'd be like, boom, your subscribers are going crazy, then your views are going crazy. But that's why a lot of people, it took me a year to get to 1,000 subscribers. And from when I started it 2 years ago, there was like half the reseller channels there are now.
Right.
There's so many new.
How many were you putting out? How many are you putting? Well, were you putting out at the beginning?
I was doing like 2 or 3 a week, A few times I'd be like, I'm doing every day. And I did it for like 5 days straight. But now I just do the 2 a day. And once in a while I'll slip in a new, like I got a few on deck, like the how-tos and stuff.
Nice.
But that's what, like we said, YouTube will make you quit faster than quitting eBay. That's for sure. And because you feel like you're not doing it for nobody and nothing. You don't get money. Once that money starts coming in, that's the thing too. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but those videos make you money because they grow.
Yeah.
And I'm not making a lot, but I'm making, a few hundred a month. Let's say that. So, and it's a nice thing that every month you get that money. Plus I have another channel that I don't talk about that makes me money too. So
that's smart. Multi-source income.
Yeah. My other channel I don't promote. No one knows what it is.
That's smart.
It's like a review and unboxing channel for like tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do a lot of woodworking in my garage as a hobby. So power tools and drills and how to, paint and how to sand and blah, 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 and different. And that thing is just. I haven't put a video there and since last year, and it still makes a few hundred a month.
Smart.
Wow.
So
Smart.
it's nice to have. So just
Emily got a good point here. She goes, it'll happen. You're seeing that stuff. Emily did a couple videos on, before it was popular, it was like selling and shipping on Facebook Marketplace. And now she's seeing those videos get 3,000 views, 2,500 views. And they were videos that she did way back when she was only making like 5-minute videos. But it's weird. That algorithm will pick that up and go, oh, you like this? Check this video out. And I think you're going to keep seeing that, Steve. I think you're just going to keep on rolling. Yes. And Jake's not lying. He's called me at least 3 times telling me he's quitting YouTube. He's
3?
done it.
Only 3?
Probably only 3 this month.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, some people get that. Even now, the shout outs don't seem to work the same as they used to be, but some people get that big boost and then it happens easier. But for the majority of people, it's a year or more even to get monetized.
There's Emily. She goes, I answer questions on that Facebook video every day. She still has people commenting on it. Well, we'll have a little bit of fun here because I won't keep you too long, Steve, because thank you so much for doing this, dude. Here it is, guys. We're going to let you talk about this for 1 second. It's an election season.
Oh, you're really going to do this? Okay.
No, I'm not. Haha, in your face, Jake. Steve, who would be on a ballot, in your opinion, this is totally your opinion, for the reseller community that would be running for president of sourcing videos? Or let's just say eBay.
Come on.
No. In the fun way, I'm really asking, who are like your kind of influential people that you're learning from, that you're looking at of like, all right, I learned something new here, or I like their technique here. I just had to tie it around and say election. That's all.
God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to answer this. I watch, I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
That's okay.
You don't watch me, Steve? I'm very insulted.
Well, I watch you guys' videos.
That's okay, because I think there's health to that. There really is.
Right. But like I'll say, I watched, I don't know, man. I just watched a little of everybody, but not consistent. There's a handful. There's too many now.
Yeah, very, very true.
Oh man, I don't know. Like Craigslist Hunter was one of the first ones I always watched.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really to learn. It was just pretty cool to see how he operated the store and everything.
Right.
Because it's a different type of. I mean, it's hard to say who you're going to learn from because you don't know what you're going to do. There's the big channels like Lonnie.
Yep.
But I rarely watch his stuff anymore because it's like.
I don't know what you're going to learn from that.
I mean, well, you see, for maybe a new person, but to me, it's like, well, he doesn't go to thrift stores.
Right.
Once in a while, he goes to yard sales. He's got a guy, or he's got some sources where he gets bulk.
Right.
So that doesn't really pertain to a lot of people.
Right.
So that's tough to learn. I don't know. But then he covers, shipping and this and that where you're going to learn. So who I learned from now,
you've been in for a while.
Let's say I can learn from anybody if I see something I don't know. And that's on a given day. I can learn something from you guys on your next video for sure.
Right.
Because you might find something I never seen before.
Right.
I find things every day I've never seen before.
Right.
Every time I go to the thrift store, I see a brand. It looks good. And I found one. It was in my last video. Real quick. It was called Stefano Ricci. I don't know if you watched my last video.
Yeah. I saw the logo on there. Yeah.
That shirt, Stefano Ricci, was in my thing where it said this needed insurance. I saw that shirt in the thrift store. I was like, oh, that looks good. I felt it. I was like, oh, it feels good. I never heard of that brand. I looked it up. I sold it for $150 in a day.
And it was a zero to you because you knew nothing about it. Yep.
It was just a button-down dress shirt. And I looked up the website and I put it on my video. His dress shirts sell for like $750 and up. Pair of jeans, $1,000 and up. It's like this real high-end couture type designer brand. And I found it in some junky thrift store downtown. And I never knew it. So I could watch anybody's video and see something I never saw before that they happen to find.
Right.
Because it happens every day. So I learn from everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and I say, like, hey, guys, I have no shame in everything. I probably watch about, on a given week, maybe 15 resellers. A lot of them friends because I like their content. I watch some non-resellers because I like their editing skills. I just do. For me, like, knowledge is Matt, Part-Time Pickers, because he's so much on my level of thrift store. And then, like, I've gotten into more, well, not now in Virginia because the season's closing, but yard sales. Like, finding stuff, weird stuff, being willing to negotiate, being willing to, I already knew the lot stuff up, but then to see that bundle tactic really played out really well. And he's kind of authentic with it, which is cool. But like, there's some of the videos that don't pertain to me nowadays.
Right.
I'm like, I don't have those Amazon overstock stores near me. It's really cool to watch, but until one opens, I can't be envious of it. I don't have anything to source like that.
Yeah, we have one, but I don't go to it.
Yeah. Well, dude, you sounds like you're doing good. You're doing good, right? With the way you're sourcing, how you're getting stuff. You're learning new stuff every day. I love that, man.
You're always going to learn in this business. Always.
And
always.
I think you hit a good thing. Always be willing to learn in this business. Don't get stuck in a rut. Like,
no, because you're going to find those profitable items. You annoyed $150 shirt. I had no idea what it was. But boom, there it was, and boom, magic money. So
I love that. I love that. Thanks, Iris. She says yes. We always have interesting convos and equally interesting guests. Let's see here. Diary of a Flipper joined in from way across. Way. Maricat said, yeah, hit him up sometime or share the power tool video. See, now you got him. You got him curious, man.
He doesn't want to. It doesn't look like he wants to.
No. The only thing I was gonna say is I would like get in touch with some of the tool guys and keep them kind of informed on it, because like Leroy, Blood Sweat Resell, he's like my tool go-to guy. Teaches me on vintage stuff, and I know that's what he does, kind of like odd jobs here and there too.
Yep. I'm trying to go.
There you go, Emily. And I don't dismiss any category. And see, Emily's one of my go-tos because Emily finds the weird stuff and gives me really good info. She's like, top 10 Build-A-Bear plush that sell great. And I find a bunch of them. So she helps me narrow my search down to find these certain ones, I like that. But yeah, dude, like, any other cool things that we can be on the lookout for you, like with your channel? You got any like big plans, or you just gonna stay to that maintain kind of schedule? I know you said you got a good video coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I just do every weekend I put a what sold. I kind of like, a lot of people, the what solds, but there's people out there wanting to watch those and learn from them. They're great learning tools. I put one out every weekend. I categorize them lately. I'll do like hard goods one weekend, hats, shoes, clothes, and I like rotate it every month. And then every Wednesday I put out my sourcing, thrifting, vlog type video. I have one tomorrow, of course, coming out. And I'll sprinkle in here and there. I have a few, how-to videos that are going to come out that I have planned to do, for new sellers. Other than that, I'm just, on Instagram, I put out, every day I put at least one picture of something that I find.
I love those Mark Simpson shirts. I almost reached out to you. I was like, all right, man, how much? Ship them up here. I was like,
they sold, man.
Right I know. And I was like, no, let him make that good profit. I was like, they were nice, bro. They really were.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like your category videos too, by the way, because you do explain stuff really well. Like, guys, I hope in the chat you're learning this. You teach really good. You explain really good. Your process, and I like your adaptability. You keep learning, and your hat's one that I think you just did. I love that category. You stayed in a lane, and you were like, here's what I did. You'd be surprised. Here's what it sold for. Now this one, I think it was a Rolls Royce hat. A little bit of damage, but guess what? It's got a name on it. You can still sell it. You can make a couple bucks.
It was like $8, $9.
But you got any more of those kind of in your pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, every Saturday, next one, I'm either going to do clothes or hard goods this coming weekend.
Nice.
I have enough. I don't show every sale.
Right. I'm very interested.
But but I also don't show just the high ones. I'll throw in some like low dollar ones.
Right.
That people can find in the store and make $10 on them. So, I have, I've screenshot enough. So right now I have both of those categories ready to go. Whichever one I feel like Saturday, I shoot and edit that video in 1 hour done.
Two actual categories that I'm interested in personally would be probably the button-down shirts, men's button-down shirts, and probably jeans.
I might do a jean one. I've done a few jean only ones during my thing, but usually when I do clothing, it's like a mix of clothing. But I've been saving up. I think I might have another denim one coming out. Because
the average cost of jeans or button-down shirts would you say to spend on?
For me, at the bins, it's $1.75 a pound.
The bins, okay, fine, but
that's where I source. So I find jeans there. If a pair of jeans is a little over a pound, let's call it $2 for a pair. I have a local thrift store that does $1 clothing all the time. They always I get jeans there all the time. Yeah, all their clothing $1.
I like that.
So Goodwill, they're $8. I don't touch the jeans there.
Same up here, man. I don't even go through jeans.
But if you want, here, watch. I'm gonna tell you something, Yakov. I have it on my phone in my notes. Where is it? I have a little chart, and I don't really look at it, but I made it once, so I would know it. It's not gonna show up. See, I have a little chart, but I'm gonna tell you, it says cost of jeans, what they have to sell for. Yeah, let me see. It's probably not gonna show up with the brightness.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
348, 34, 28, 22.
Nice. So if you pay $1, they have to sell for 22 to net 18. If you pay $4, they have to sell for 26 to net 18 to 20.
So it's with shipping, without shipping.
That's after everything. I charge shipping on everything, plus shipping. So if they pay so if you pay $8, you have to sell them for 34 to net 18 to 20. That's the minimum I like to make on a pair of jeans.
I like that.
And I did that because I go to $1. I do my jeans at $1. And in Goodwill they're $8. So if I happen to see one, which I rarely look at them, I'll know right away they got to sell for at least 34 to me and make my minimum of 18.
Right.
And you would comp on the spot.
Right. And then I'll comp it and look at the sell-through rates to see if it's worth picking up.
Yes.
Now I do sell, some of the Levi's that I know are going to sell quicker, but they only go for like $18. But if I got them for $1, I'll be like, all right, whatever. I'll grab one and keep it in my inventory. I'm not going to load up on them, but I'll make $15 on them, and that's okay once in a while. But I like to make $18, $20 minimum on a pair of jeans, and I know I get them for $1 at the store, $2 at the bins, or if I happen to find one at Goodwill, it's going to pay up, which is rare. So just kind of know something. It's all about numbers.
Emily says Iris. Yeah, Iris said something about storage. Storage is such an talked about issue in reselling. It's very important. My own shameless plug. Look out Thursday, people. Look out for a video Thursday. I'm right there with you. I've been figuring out storage issues, and I'm outgrowing the rooms in my home. It looks like you have kind of a room dedicated to it, and Steve, you do really good because you don't keep a death pile really there, but you keep it in your house. You keep it in a good kind of shelf system.
Yeah, this eBay room I built, it's half of my garage. When the quarantine happened, that's when I built this room out.
Right.
I couldn't do nothing, so I took advantage of that downtime. And I had this built. I cut this garage in half, built this room. I got 16 bins behind me, and then I got storage bins like right here for hats and the drawers below. I keep my golf clubs and my bats up here.
Nice.
And then I have storage shelves for all my shipping supplies, my shipping table, and then inside one of the closets inside, I have some fragiles, and then half of my son's closet, I have a lot of nicer clothing and jackets and stuff hanging. So
that's smart. That's what I do in my wife's closet. All of our nice jackets, sweaters, we keep those hung up over there. The rest of the clothing, we pre-package them in the clear poly bags, and we just drop them all in one bin.
Right.
That's super smart. But I dedicated 2 rooms, which is all changing soon, people. So this room, you want to talk about having inventory? Yeah. I got 4 racks in here. This is all unlisted room. And then I have a completely listed, ready to ship inventory room as well. But my wife wants that other room back. So it was our sunroom overlooking the pond that you can't look out the windows right now. So yeah. So having fun, man. But I think that's, dude, I love it. I love it, Steve. I like that. No nonsense. I love it, man.
Thanks, Emily.
Are there any, still talking about YouTube a little bit, are there any like go-to non-reseller channels that you're a fan of that you're just like, you unwind or you listen to in the background that's non-reselling?
Non-reselling. You know who I've been watching? It sounds crazy. Dr. Disrespect.
All right, what's the channel? I've never heard of it.
It's a game. He's a gamer. He plays like the Call of Duty, like the war game. But he's like this guy. He wears a wig and like a mustache, and he's like this whole character. He used to be on Twitch, I believe, but now he's on YouTube. Dr. Disrespect. Like during the day, he'll be live streaming and he plays. And it's a cool war game.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty, whatever it is, Warzone. And I like watching them play that game. They're really good, you know. And it's entertaining to sit there and watch that.
Right.
But there's a few like food channels I watch. But other than that, I'm trying to think.
Jane says he loves him.
Yeah, he's funny, but it's I like watching the video game. I can't play it,
right?
So I you know, it's cool to watch. You gotta check him out. And he makes bank. He's making so much. You never seen super chats like this guy gets. He gets like $500 super chats. It's crazy
all the time. Yeah,
every day whenever he's on. So you know, like I said, not a lot. I don't know, like. God,
that's good though. You find categories that are outside of there that give you good entertainment, that get you out of, you know, your funk and stuff. I know I was looking at Emily's. She goes, "Yeah, I'm weird. I watch multi-level marketing, pyramid scheme content."
Let me look at trying to see what else is on my list besides on my homepage, besides reselling stuff. All the guys, not much.
Oh, I watch How Ridiculous. Some Australian guys. They like to drop stuff off of a giant tower. Sometimes they drop it on trampolines. Sometimes they crush cars. It's fun.
I used to watch, what was it called? God, it was a guy. He actually has a TV show now doing it, where you have celebrities come on and have to eat the hot wings.
Oh yeah,
what's it called? What's it called? Like, hot ones or whatever. Yeah, some of those are pretty funny, and they go down the list of hotter.
I love it.
Some of those are hysterical, man.
I bought some of those hot sauces. They're in my cabinet right now.
All right. See, I don't like that stuff, but that was funny to watch some of those.
The bomb is as true as it is on the show. I'll just tell everybody. If you watch that show, it's the most disgusting taste, and it burns for at least 20 minutes. It's the worst hot sauce on the face of the earth.
See, I couldn't do that. I don't like hot stuff.
But yeah. Jake, do you have any other questions for Steve?
Come on, Yakov.
Did you learn a lot, Jake? I did.
You know what? It's a lot to take in. With the fact that I have to actually list, and when I do go sourcing, to source stuff that I'll make the $10 profit, because that limits me a lot to what I could buy.
Step by step. Focus on first thing. Get through your pile.
Death pile.
That's it. Don't worry about nothing else. Get through that pile. Then once that's done, start fresh and say, okay, let's try a new approach and do something different. And see if you don't like it, go back and do whatever you want. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect Josh.
The very first week we
started, you happy.
Yeah. The very first week we started this show, we convinced Jake to do a refund. He learns like one good step every week. I love it. I love it because he's getting better. Jake, you have to pat yourself on the back sometimes, dude. The biggest thing I told you in that live the other night, you sold 8 items. You're used to selling 1 and 2. You shipped out 8 items. You got to
but I shipped out 8 items, but the profit on those items are not comparable to maybe
stop
3 or 4 yours.
I'm trying to compliment you that you sold 8 items, Jake.
Okay, thank you.
Ken said he learned a ton. Yes, I did too, man. You're the kind of guy that's, Emily said it best. Not that you're trying to do it in a no nonsense. You're treating it like a real business because that's what it is to you. You are having fun, but you're treating it like a real business. I like that.
Right, but on the same token, I don't kill myself.
Right.
You know, like one day last week, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm not going anywhere today. And I didn't go sourcing. And
Right.
I didn't list the thing. And I didn't even care. I didn't sweat it.
Yep.
Just a day to chill out and do whatever.
That's so good.
You know, because I mean, I don't, whatever. I just, you know, it's not worth stressing over.
Right. You're like, you're making money. Like you said, I know I'm making money.
That's it.
Steve, do you have any questions for me or Jake? Anything? We can pick your brain on, or that you could pick our brain on.
Are you guys going to stick with YouTube? You're going to keep going and going?
Yes.
Good.
I'm going.
What's the
I'm going to try.
Jake's 100%. Jake, and correct me if I'm wrong, because Jake was very much what you addressed earlier, and I had to encourage him to it. You have to make the content now to eventually and hopefully receive something later down the road. It's not a direct results thing, and we're definitely in a society that wants direct results. And for him, he was like, I want to focus on this, not this, because it's not giving me anything right now. I says, yes, but this is putting the nails in the house to build the house so you can live in it.
Yeah.
This is the wall, putting a wall up in a piece at a time. You're not going to see a direct result immediately. But I like if he ever did quit, because I've talked to other guys that aren't on YouTube right now. They haven't stopped reselling. They just said, I need to do the thing that is paying the bills right now, because they're using it to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, in the time that I could work and edit a video, I'm listing 50 more items.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, I respect that, you know? Then we know other guys. Guess what? They've decided they really like YouTube. They're sourcing less.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because
they're doing more YouTube. You know,
if you're going to film your pack and ship segment, what takes 20 minutes becomes taking an hour. And if you're not getting paid from that video, it's tough. Let me ask you this. What is, like, Josh, I'll start first. Yeah. What's your majority of your inventory? What kind of category? Would you say shoes?
100%. I have 200 pair of unlisted shoes right now.
Oh, Jesus.
You see, sounds familiar, right?
But as a part-timer, so I have a full-time job. I list 70 to 80 or 70 to 100 items a week.
Oh.
But it's because I'm putting in like grind hours. And the reason I have an abundance of inventory is because my wife, so when she even helps now, she increases our listing up to about 130, 140 a week. So I keep stuff around here, so if she gets bored, she has tons to list.
How many items do you have in your store?
452.
Okay. And how long you been doing it?
Since February.
Nice. Cool.
How many you got, Steve?
Right now, I'm at like 420. I never was at a lot. I never wanted to have a lot. You know.
No, I'm right there with you. I might hit the 500 to just be, for my own mental status, a good number. But I'm at 450 listed and 425 sold.
And how many are you shipping per day?
It varies. Yesterday was Monday, but I ship on Saturdays. So my Monday shipment is really only Sunday sales. And I only sent out like 6 yesterday.
Huh.
And then today I sent out only 3 or 4. It was kind of slow. So, and right now, as of now, since this afternoon to now, I have only 2.
Right.
But tomorrow sales will come in and I'll just send those out. So I always ship at night and then send them out the next morning. But my mailman comes late. So if I have daytime sales in the morning or early afternoon, I can still get those out the same day.
Do you do direct pickup?
I schedule USPS online,
and
then I put them on my windowsill next to my front door, and I know to come and grab them. But I'm on a really crappy route, so they don't always do that. So then if they don't, then I have to go to the post office. I throw them in the bins out in the loading dock. But good. I don't, the sales vary. Some days you'll have even with 400 items, once in a blue. I think like last week I had a 0 day, and that was the first 0 I've had like in 3 months.
Same here.
2 months.
Weekend.
But it's it doesn't matter. You had that 1 or 0 day is gonna average out with the 10-day and the 6-day, and it's all going to work
So
out.
good. It's so
It
good.
all works out.
You'll stress yourself out on the roller coaster of looking at stuff day by day.
It's just like with the shipping costs. I don't do calculated shipping. I just put a price in on everything. So I ballpark know what it's going to cost to send. Even though I don't know if I'm in South Florida, I don't know if it's going to go to Georgia or to California. And of course, there might be $1 variance on something that's first class, but it all averages out. I might be short 40 cents on something and then over on 40 cents something. And it works out.
Smart. And dude, from the very get-go, guys, everything he's sharing with you, guys in the chat, he's not telling you how to run your store. Steve is giving examples. This is why we bring people on the show. So you can kind of learn about a person, learn how they think and process, but they're sharing how their store works. The main point is for you to learn a cool tip, a cool trick, a cool idea. Like for me, I love your so I already look comps up and stuff like that. What I don't do is then track, what's really cool about this item? It's this, here's the year, here's the da-da-da-da, because that would speed up my listing time. For me, I know it's going to comp well, so I'm excited already to list it, but I love your process of here's all the stuff to get all that info in there. My slowest thing is listing time, man, and you just showed me a cool tip to get that faster.
Right. See, I like that. See, a lot of people are slow with listing. I know you're going on a long time, but
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Because when they want to list something, they take the item and they photograph it and on the phone and let me look it up. Oh, it's worth this. Okay. And then they take your title. Then they're doing it all at once. I kind of do batch work. Like I said, when I get home from the store, I photograph everything and I make details of everything on a piece of paper. So, I got a camera, right? So I'll say, okay, Sony A5100, blah, 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 blah. I write all the details, the measurements, whatever, on a piece of paper, photograph it, do the next one. So now all my photos are done on my phone. I dump them into my computer. So now I have all my pictures on the computer and all my information on a piece of paper. And I could go chill out, do whatever. When it's time to list, I fly through the listing. And it doesn't feel as much work.
Yeah, right. But you still do sell similars, no?
Yeah. I'll go up in the header, type in what it is, look for it, and then I'm kind of basically recomping it at that point.
Yep.
Okay. I comped it when I bought it, but now I don't remember exactly what it was.
Right.
So now I'm looking and I'll do the solds, find one that's close as possible, hit it, sell similar, change the title, or part of the title, never use the same exact title. I dump all my pictures in, put all my information in and list. And I do in 30 minutes, I could do 6-7 listings.
So smart, man.
And so it's done. Smart. And it's not the photograph, the measure, the comp, this all at once. That's why it takes people so long to list. I mean, I guess when it comes all down to it, it's all going to add up the same amount of time, but you're not doing it all at once where it seems like it's a slow process.
But you see, the key here is that you also do it right after you source it. It's all done in the same day. So my biggest problem is I was sourcing my last hours of the day. I would come home, have to deal with the kids, have to deal with paperwork, and that's why stuff got shifted to the death pile. The idea, and I think what's essential to see here is that you basically source, and the same day that you source, you list. You don't let 24 hours go by before getting that done.
I at least photograph and document. I don't necessarily always list them all.
Right. And to speak on that at a part-time level, Jake, and this is the step that I learned. Give me your input, Steve. So I cut my listing down unless there's a crazy day. I got a half day yesterday, so I ran to some thrift stores. But I typically now only source on the weekend because I'm part-time just like you are. But now I've built to where I don't have to run out Monday through Thursday to go get stuff. I'm listing all my stuff that I picked up.
Right.
That's my goal, is to knock out all that new stuff by Thursday.
Right.
So you're still doing it. You just can't do it in the same day.
You see, I do the opposite. Yeah. And I do the opposite. Come Thursday and Friday, I do a little heavier thrifting where I have stuff for the weekend because I don't go sourcing on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then if I go Friday, last Friday, I had a whole big, huge haul. I must have 30 things. I came home, I maybe photographed 10 of them. I didn't want to kill myself and do them all at once. I said, I'll do more Saturday. Saturday, I photograph the rest. I list some, and I would always carry over. Like right now, I'm kind of almost list everything, but I like to keep things on deck. I say,
That's
so
smart.
I have pictures on my computer and things on my list that are not listed, but they're put away. I don't need them anymore. I have the information and everything I need on the paper.
Good.
I have the pictures, and now I can list tonight. I can list wake up tomorrow. If I don't want to go anywhere, I can just go on my computer and say, look at my list and go, I still got 6 things I can list, and just without doing any work but computer work. And it's like batch work almost, where you're doing the photographing at one time and the documenting, but then you put the stuff away. You have no pile, and you can list whenever you want. Even if you list a few, if you sourced one day a week out of that, you could do that. You could source one day, say you get 15 things, right? The next day, photograph 5.
Yep.
List a couple. The next day, photograph 5, and list and carry over those listings, and that'll get you through a week from one day's of listing.
Yep.
One day of sourcing.
Yep. That's what I've been trying to do. I source Friday and Saturday, and then I'm trying to list Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I don't pile on top of pile, you know.
Especially if you guys are part-time, you don't want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to get burnt out and you're going to start hating it.
Yep.
Because you can't do everything in one day. Especially, you have a job, you have a family, I have, my one son's at college now, so it's me, my wife, and my other son.
Right.
And he's 16, so I don't have the little kids anymore where that's really, a focus, you could say. You know what I mean? He does his own thing. He's in his room. He goes with his friends. So I don't have the little kids running around, to play with them. And, so that's a lot of time that freed up. But I've been there, I wasn't reselling at the time.
Right.
I know what that's like, So don't do it all in one day and don't kill yourself. But
yeah.
Even if I'm from sourcing, even if you photograph 2 things and then don't even have to list them the next day, if you don't go sourcing, photograph 2 more things and then list the 2 things you photographed yesterday. And then just carry those things over. Boom, 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 boom. And you won't feel that pressure of having to do it all at once.
And dude, I love you sharing that. Jimmy's another one here. He has such a good system. Emily was saying the same thing. She was like, yep, same here, Steve. Ken was kind of what we talked about earlier. He sometimes feels inferior to other people, but Ken's also been focusing on his store, not YouTube content. Dude, Steve, thank you so much, man. And Sal's here. Guys, if you need your tape dispensers, this guy, custom work, does great work. And he will be a guest in the future, guys. Be on the lookout for Sal. Guy's got a heart like a gold, man. I love that dude. But Steve, thank you so much, man. Like, I'll have one final question that I ask everybody because it's just kind of what we do on the show. Because it gets to show people more personality. Huh?
Good luck with it.
Well, it's a good one. Jake, has not everybody's answer been different?
No, everybody's answer's been different. Yes.
See, that's why we do it. But guys, please, once again, you can go subscribe to Steve if you haven't already. It's links in the description. He's told you the content he's putting out. You've met the guy. You've heard a little bit of the story. I say go invest for yourself. Go learn more about what Steve's doing. He's doing a great job. You're holding down Fort Lauderdale, man. You're not making resellers that visit like me think it's like the worst place to source ever because you're finding $150 shirts every day. No, yeah, but you're doing really good, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Really, really good. Really, really good. But my last question. I'm a fun, positive reseller. I like trying to make the world a better place as much as I can. So I always ask this: if you could do one thing for every package that ships out, okay? Every sale that you have, if you could put something in there figuratively or literally that when somebody gets that box that makes their day better or just makes the world better, what would you put in every single sale that goes out?
Some weed, because everybody's got to chill out.
Different answer. Told you, folks.
No, honestly,
Yeah.
I'd have to say just put respect.
That's good.
Everybody respected everybody. The world would change. And everybody would just, you know what I mean? Like too much.
That's good. That's really good.
That's my real answer. The first one I just.
Yeah, you had to throw the curveball in there. No, that's good. I mean, everybody's giving a different answer, but you're so right. If somebody may open that box up and need that and go like,
boom,
you know what? I've thought this way about somebody. You know what? I'm going to start respecting them more. dude, that would change somebody's like circle of influence real quick. I love that, man. I love that. Jake, any other questions for Steve before we head out?
Nope, I think we're all good.
Man,
Thank
you
you.
so much.
You really helped me out with a lot. And if
He
I'll
didn't,
have to continue talking.
I mean, you know, like I said, Nude, I'm not, you know, think about it. That's all I can say.
You've got some good skin in the game. You're not new to this. You've had trial and error, Steve. That's what I love, man. You've learned, you've overcome, you're crushing it, man.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
And
if you guys have any questions, you know,
huh?
Yakov, if you have any concerns or questions, you always feel free to IM me, you know, DM me, whatever it is. Same for you.
You know what? I
I'll do the
definitely
same.
will. I definitely will. And you're going to hear from me. Trust me.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh yeah. Jake's like glitter to the reseller community. Yeah, like once he gets attached to you, he sticks. You're not getting rid of him.
It's all right. Fellow New Yorker, I got you, man.
Well, thanks everybody in the chat. Please go check out Steve. Jake will eventually put out another video, everyone. He will. He told me he's working on one. He's got one. And then I got a couple videos in the pipeline. You can always tune in Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We already got a great guest lined up next week, and we're putting some more great guests, introducing you to this awesome reselling community that I have grown to love so much. I found great friends through this. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great one. Go out and change the world with a sale or a smile, whatever it is. Just keep making the world a better place and go make some money. We'll see you guys. Have a great one.